would you find a particular design that would reflect, right, themselves, their experiences, their personality? So I'm going to show you. So this is how, I'm sorry, this looks pretty flat, right? This is how it would look if you use Canvas or Blackboard. So I just wanted to show you the difference between the two. So we're going to talk about design. So I found an amazing source from Tennessee Technological University that talks about how to approach your design, right? And how to think about it. So you want to figure out what platform you're going to use, what photo you're going to use, and it doesn't have to be professional. I'll just take one, you know. Whether you're going to have a resume or a CV, what artifacts, and then your reflection. So the platform you choose, and what I want to demonstrate today is going to be Google Sites, but I'm going to show you other platforms like Wix or Weebly. There's other platforms you can use. And so when you're selecting a platform, you want to ask these questions. You know, ease of use, you want to make sure it's easy to use. You can easily customize it. You can store your artifacts, that it has user support and administrative settings. Oh, and Canva, you can also create any portfolio using Canva, but it's the type that's more horizontal as opposed to vertical. And so your layout, what you want to include is your about me and a picture of yourself, as we saw in those examples, your resume or CV, your artifacts, reflection, and of course, contact information. So just remember, you're the producer of the ePortfolio. You are telling your story. So the About Me section is that opportunity to introduce yourself more than you can in a cover letter. You want to highlight the connections between your knowledge, skills, and experiences. Make your information relevant and professional, but keep it clear and concise. Don't overwrite. So here's some guiding questions, and I always make these presentations available on Blackboard, so you can go back and take a look at these guiding questions about how you decide what you want to highlight. All right, so employers and graduate programs are the consumers of you're the producer, they're the consumers of your ePortfolio. So they are interested in learning more about you and your potential for impact where they are at their institution. While this is not a section, particularly in the ePortfolio, it is imperative that you, consider what you are presenting to your audience. All right, so briefly describe your professional goals, knowing your target audience. Sure. All right, and then, so here's the design piece that you were asking. So the design elements, you want to make sure you're thinking about color, repeating design aspects so you're consistent, so people don't think if they go from page to page that they're on another site. Aligning everything visually, so if it's a left aligned or center aligned website, it should be the same all the way across, and make sure you're grouping related items together. Right, so again, it doesn't have to be professional, but you want to make sure you understand or know what would be a good photo or not. Right, so baby photo, maybe not so much, right? But that photo is fine. He's in a suit, he's casual. It doesn't have to be, so formal. I think she looks fine. She's smiling, open, warm, right? And even that I wouldn't be mad at that, but if it depends on who you're applying to and what you're applying to. So consider your audience when you're thinking about your picture. Okay, so I really wanted to get to this, the difference between the resume and the CV. So as a general rule, a resume is typically something you create when you are applying for a job. A CV is what you create when you're applying for grad school. All right? So typically a resume, your education and your work experience. But for grad school, you want to give more information, your area of interest, especially about research, your academic interests, your education to this point, or your expected date of graduation, your degrees that you expect to earn, any grants that you've worked on, any publications, honors, awards, any presentations you've done, any employment experience or volunteer, scholarly and professional memberships, and any references. So you see the difference between a typical resume and a CV. So we have some conferences that are coming up. We've been posting them on Blackboard. So I hope you're taking advantage of them, because all that goes on your CV. Whether you present or not, that you attend is one thing, but if you present or you have you write a publication that is accepted at the conference, all of that goes into your e-portfolio. Any questions? Am I answering the design question?
Oh, yes, sir. Design question.
Good.
If one of them is lacking, you think like that would kill the whole thing, or?
No, not at all. You're not going to have all of this. So it's your scaffolding, right? So you're building your CV, you're building your e-portfolio. So with every new experience added in, every new, community service added in, if you do study abroad, journal about that and put that in your reflection page in your on your e-portfolio. So that makes up for where something else may be lacking. Okay. Any questions online? Okay.
No. Ashley, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you, though.
Okay. So your artifacts, where do they come from? Your courses, internships, research, any service learning that you do, any leadership positions, if you're holding any office in any clubs, and your study abroad experiences. So learning experiences might include a paper that you wrote, a research poster, a lab report, in your coursework. If you, some people are like the, education majors and so on, so you may have to create a syllabus or a lesson plan, or your teaching philosophy. If you have any particular skills or certifications, if you belong to an honor society, you do, Kasha, make sure you put that down. Internships, any products from working in a group in your class or your individual projects, any flyers or brochures that you've created that's showing your graphic eye, your design talent, and leadership, service philosophy, and so on. So remember, the consumer is looking at your e-portfolio. So you want to ask yourself, who will be interacting with this e-portfolio? And so looking at this exercise, which I'll post on Blackboard for you to interact with, think about the artifact and the purpose. Why would you include that particular artifact before you include it? So this is a little worksheet that you can use to identify that, so that you're not wasting your time just putting stuff that's not relevant. So for example, a study abroad program is not an artifact. It's not something tangible, right? But the journal that you kept while you were abroad is the artifact. Okay. So any questions about what you would include as artifacts?
So you did say like stuff that you do as far as like a group project that works.
Yes, yes. And a lot of times with that shows that you are able to do teamwork, that you're able to work in a team. But if you held a leadership position in the team, sometimes in my courses, I have the group identify a project manager. They're working on a project. And so that's the leadership role that they play, So yes, grad schools, employers want to know that you worked on the team, that you can collaborate with others. And then the last thing in your e-portfolio is a reflection. So you're reflecting on your experiences. And it's an opportunity for you to connect what you learned to the bigger picture of your academic and professional journey. So that's what we, with our 4 points of honor and all these workshops and getting you to think about all of the experiences that you have, that they align with your goals later. And one of those goals is your senior thesis. Another goal is to maybe apply for grad school. So think your reflection of your experiences, try to align your experiences with those goals. So here's some guiding questions. Again, I'll leave this in the slides for you to come back to as you get ready to do your reflections. And what I'd like to invite you to do, as you know, we're going to do hands-on in a second. What I'd like you to do is, as you're working on your portfolios even this semester, come in and show them to me, ask me questions, let me critique it, let me give you suggestions, you know, and not myself, also Dr. Brown Robinson, as to, you know, where you're headed with it, and just a quick artifact, or, you know, did I add more? Right, so one of the best ways is to show some of the skills that you've gained or improved, like taking the initiative. How did you take initiative? If you were given a task to do, but you saw a way to do it more efficiently, working under pressure, analyzing data and statistics. That is what we are going to be all about around here. How do you communicate with staff and clients? Have you delivered a presentation? Are you persuasive? Are you good at meeting deadlines? Contributing to a work team, coming up with ideas, following through on plans, being accurate and detailed, and writing articles or reports. And we can't forget about ethics. So even though what you are including in your e-portfolio is your experience and what you've done, if you use anything offline like videos or music or other, make sure that you're following the Creative Commons licensing about that. And if you're not sure, you can always go to these links and double check. All right, and then these are my sources. Any questions before we get started creating?
For the, when do you recommend that we like start putting it on like a resume or like sending it to employers?
I would say as soon as you have, I would say 3 to 4 good artifacts, and even varied artifacts. They don't have to be the same thing. That doesn't always have to be a paper, right? But I would say 3 to 4 good varied artifacts, especially for an internship. And then if you know the internship you're applying for, you might want to focus those particular artifacts toward that role that you're going to be in. Question? All right, let's get our laptops out. Any questions online?
No,